Welcome, students. In this session, we are going to discuss about effects of air pollutants on plants. This topic come under Unit 2. Okay. In this session, the contents I'm going to cover are introduction, structure of leaf, forms of damage to leaves, effects of various pollutants. Air pollution has long been known to have adverse effects on plants. At first, the sulfur dioxide and fluorine have more and dangerous effects on plants. Nowadays, various pesticides and industries causing dangerous injuries to plants. Sometimes vegetation over 150 kilometers away from the source of pollutant has been found to be affected. It means we all know that not only human beings, whereas plants also can get affected by air pollutants. So what are all the effects of air pollutants on plants we are going to see in this session? It means various gases pollutants are there and various particulate matter are there. How each pollutant can affect plants we are going to see. And one more thing we have to remember that especially the gases pollutants and the particulate matter, they affect the leaf of the plants. So especially they affect the leaf, they cannot affect any branches or they cannot affect any stem of the any plant or any tree. Only the effect of they affect the leaves of trees or leaves of plants. So we know that one more thing we have to remember that entire metabolism or entire photosynthesis or entire biological thing and food preparation also taken over by the leaf of a tree. So it means if the pollutants are affecting leaf, it means they are also affecting the life and lifespan of trees. So you can see here, air pollution has long been known to have adverse effects on plants. At first, sulfur dioxide and fluorine have more and dangerous effects on plants. It means not only sulfur dioxide and fluorine, each and every pollutant like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, and hydrogen chloride, hydrogen fluoride, ozone also can affect the pollutants. Sorry, can affect the plants. So okay, these are, and you can see that this is the structure of a leaf. A leaf, this is the vertical structure of a leaf. You can see here at the top that part is called as cutil and the next part is called as epidermis, upper epidermis, lower epidermis. So leaf, the upper part and lower part of a leaf is called as epidermis. After epidermis, the part is called as palisade. After palisade, at the lower, you can see here sponge layer is there, and one more thing is stomata is there. Stomata is the most important part of a leaf, which it means which is sorry, stomata, which is, it means the breathing of leaf. It means the inhalation and exhalation of air will be through stomata only. It means stomata are the openings of leaf on a surface of leaf. It means the whenever stomata opens, the air enters into the leaf, and whenever stomata closes, the air will not enter into the leaf. So that's why stomata are the openings, and which it means which we may call them as a breathing part of a leaf or respiratory part of a leaf, we can call it. Stomata is the most important thing, and the entire photosynthesis and the entire life means especially the photosynthesis will depend on stomata. Okay, these are all the various parts of leaf. Vein is nothing but the marking or the line on leaf are called as vein. We will see now in this, in here we can see that vein. So these are all the various parts on upper surface of a leaf. You can see here, this is called as tip, and the center line is called as the midrib, and the edges are the surrounding line. It means at the edge, the line which surrounds the leaf are called is called as margin, and these lines are called as wing, and the it means the portion of leaf is called as a lamina, and underleaf the part which can stick the leaf and the branch is called as petiole. So these are all the various parts of leaf. It means various upper parts of leaf, it means outside parts of leaf, and these are all the various inside parts of leaf like cuticle, epidermis, palisade layer, stomata, spongy layer. So this is the structure of leaf. And now we are going to see that what is epidermis, what is palisson, and what is palisade layer, what is stomata, and what is spongy layer. We are going to see, and what is their importance. We will see, and how various pollutants will affect these parts, and how various pollutants affect tip of a leaf, midrib of a leaf, margin of a leaf, vena of a leaf, lamina of a leaf, and how each pollutant can affect various parts of leaf. We are going to see. So first we will see about various parts of leaf. So we know that epidermis, the at the top and bottom of a leaf, epidermis will be there. You can see here. Epidermis forms a boundary between plant and the external environment. And epidermis protects against water loss, regulates gas exchange, collects metabolic compounds, and especially in roots absorbs water and mineral nutrients. It means epidermis, you can see here, the main function of epidermis is the collection of metabolic compounds. Metabolism is nothing but the process of food preparation of leaf due to or by using photosynthesis is called as metabolism. So the especially what are the things required for the metabolism? Water and various mineral nutrients. So in and also sunlight is needed, and also air is also needed. So in leaves, the epidermis collects gas, and in from roots the epidermis collects water and mineral nutrients. So this is the function of epidermis. And one more thing you have to remember, that epidermis forms a boundary between the plant and the external environment. It means at the top one epidermis will be there, and at the bottom of the leaf one epidermis layer will be there. And the next one is the palisade. Palisade cells contain a number of chloroplasts in plant leaves. These are well positioned to absorb light energy required for photosynthesis. It converts light into chemical or organic energy. This is the function of palisade. And next one is the parenchyma. It is a cell type organ in leaf. You can see here. Parenchyma cells are alive at maturity. They function in storage and photosynthesis. And the next one is the stomata. Stomata are the entrances in the leaf at the top and bottom. They can be closed or opened by leaf itself. And through stomata, air can enter into the leaf and exit out from the leaf. And most plants close their stomata at night. So that's why plants are much more resistant during night time. And these are all the various forms of damages to leaves caused by various pollutants. So it means especially various diseases caused to leaves are this. It means necrosis, chlorosis, obstruction, epinastri. So these are all the various main damages to leaves. There, first one is the necrosis. Necrosis is nothing but the killing or collapse of leaf tissues called as necrosis, and the loss or reduction of chlorophyll is called as it means chlorophyll is the substance in leaf which give green color to the leaf. So if the loss or reduction of chlorophyll in a leaf means, it will reduces the greenness of leaf. It means the loss of or losing of greenness uh, of a leaf is nothing but chlorosis. And one more thing we have to remember, that this chlorosis is also called as bleaching. Bleaching is nothing but the change of color of a leaf from green to some other color is called as bleaching. You have to remember that chlorosis is also called as bleaching. Chlorosis is nothing but loss or reduction of chlorophyll. So if we lose the chlorophyll from a leaf, it means it means the chlorophyll is giving greenness to the leaf. So it means automatically the removal of greenness also called as chlorosis. And the change of color from green to some other color like yellow or brown or white, that process is called as chlorosis. Sorry, that process is called as bleaching. Bleaching is nothing but change of color of a leaf from green to some other color. that is called as bleaching. And next damage is called as abscission. Abscission, it means the dropping of leaves from tree or from branch is called as abscission. And the next one is epinastry. Epinastry is nothing but downward curvature of leaf due to higher rate of growth on the upper surface. It means the sometimes the leaves will undergo curvature in downward direction. So that due to upper rate of growth on the upper surface, higher rate of growth on upper surface, that damage or that kind of property or that kind of disease of a leaf is called as epinastry. So these are all the various diseases caused to leaves due to air pollutants: necrosis, chlorosis, abscission, and epinastry. And next one is the next topic is phytotoxicants. Phytotoxicants are nothing but the air pollutant which are harmful to plants are called as phytotoxicant. You can say here phytotoxicant is the name given to plant damaging substances. It means the air pollutants are the substance whatever it may from atmosphere which can damage the plant or leaf of a plant are called as phytotoxicant. And various phytotoxicants are sulfur dioxide, fluorine, hydrogen fluoride, ozone, chlorine, hydrogen chloride, oxides of nitrogen, ammonia, ethylene, plant. So especially these are the various air pollutants which can affect the plants. So now we are going to see that how each and every pollutant can affect the plant. You can see here first we see that sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide is a air pollutant and it can affect human beings as well as plants. So sulfur dioxide, how it can affect plants, we can see here. It is a phytotoxicant above 0.2 ppm in atmosphere. If the concentration of sulfur dioxide in atmosphere is above 0.2 milligrams per liter or 0.2 ppm, then only it will be called as phytotoxicant. It means then only it can cause damages to plants and it can cause bleaching of leaves. This is not leaching, this is bleaching. Bleaching of leaves. It means the it will change the color of it will change the color of leaf from green to some other color. So that property is called sorry, that kind of diseases is called as bleaching. And also it can cause necrosis. If less than 0.4 ppm, it get absorbed by leaf and get oxidized. If the concentration of sulfur dioxide is less than 0.4 ppm, then in that case sulfur dioxide is get absorbed by leaf and then it get oxidized in the plant itself. And one more thing you have to remember that the sulfur dioxide affects photosynthesis and reacts with moisture in tree. So these are all the effects of effects of sulfur dioxide on plants. And the next pollutant is the fluorine. Fluorine is phytotoxicant above 0.3 micrograms per meter cube. It means in atmosphere, if the concentration of fluorine is above 0.3 micrograms per meter cube, then only it can cause harmful effects to plants. And also fluorine causes damage to fruits and flowers. Fluorine also lowers the value of crop, and fluorine also causes necrosis at leaf tip. Next pollutant is the hydrogen fluoride. Hydrogen fluoride causes similar effects with sulfur dioxide, but it is 10 times effective than sulfur dioxide. So hydrogen fluoride causes bleaching of leaves and necrosis. It get absorbed by leaf and get oxidized. It affects photosynthesis and reacts with moisture in tree. However, the recovery of effects of hydrogen sulfide from plants is much slower than that of sulfur dioxide. This is the thing you have to remember, that hydrogen fluoride cause the effects to plants what the effects caused by the sulfur dioxide. And one more thing you have to remember, that it cause 10 times, it is 10 times effective than sulfur dioxide. And one more thing you have to remember, that however the recovery of effects of hydrogen fluoride from plants is much slower than that of sulfur dioxide. And next pollutant is the ozone. If the concentration of ozone in atmosphere is above 0.2 ppm, then only it can cause effects to plants, and it causes lesions on upper surface of leaf, premature aging, suppressed growth, collapse of leaf. And ozone also causes necrosis and bleaching. Next pollutant is chlorine. Chlorine causes damage to vegetation in rare cases, and it means damage to vegetation caused by chlorine is very rare. It causes marginal lesions and intervenial lesions. Lesions is nothing but what kind of lines, colored lines or cracks on leaves are called as lesions. It means the formation of lines with color or cracks are called as lesions. Okay, it causes marginal lesions and intervenial lesions. And intervenial lesions, it means the when is the it means when is a part of leaf we have seen in the picture. It's a third slit. Okay, okay, next pollutant is the hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride causes necrosis and chlorosis in the margin of the leaf. And one more thing, at higher concentrations, hydrogen chloride also causes lesions. It means about 10 ppm, it causes lesions to the leaf. And the next pollutant is oxides of nitrogen. Among oxides of nitrogen, nitrogen dioxide will affect very badly. And one more thing, nitric acid formed by the oxides of nitrogen will cause harmful effects to plants. You see here, nitric acid is harmful to plants. Nitric acid and oxides of nitrogen absorbed by plants causes lesions on leaves. And oxides of nitrogen causes suppressed growth of leaf, bleaching of leaf. Oxides of nitrogen also causes brown margins and brownish black spots on the leaves. And oxides of nitrogen, it means whenever its concentration above 25 ppm, then only it causes all these effects. This is about oxides of nitrogen. And next pollutant is ammonia. Ammonia causes necrosis and chlorotic margin on leaves. At higher concentrations, lesions also form due to ammonia. And next pollutant is ethylene. Ethylene causes injury to leaves of sensitive plants. And ethylene, it means the effects of ethylene are epinastay, curling of leaf, chlorosis, leaf abscission, and growth retardation. So these are all the effects of ethylene on plants. You can see here epinastay, curling of leaf, chlorosis, leaf abscission, and growth retardation. These are all the various effects of ethylene. And one more thing you have to remember here that it means the ethylene causes injury to leaves of sensitive plants only. Okay, na? So this is about ethylene. And the next pollutant is PAN. PAN is nothing but peroxyacetyl nitrate. It is produced in atmosphere during the formation of photochemical smog in atmosphere. And the PAN causes various effects to human beings, and also it can cause various dangerous effects to plants. So PAN causes bronzing of lower leaf surface. It means upper leaf surface is normal. And PAN also causes suppressed growth of tree, and especially the PAN affects young leaves of a tree. So these are all the various effects of PAN. So in this session, we have discussed about what are the what is the structure of a leaf, and how various gases pollutants can affect leaf, and how various gases pollutants can affect the trees or growth of trees by affecting the leaves of a plant or leaves of a tree. We have seen in this session. So thank you. Mm.